What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a not live preview because I don't know what YouTube's issue is, but we cannot live stream at this moment in time. It's not possible for some reason because everything is perfect at our end, Wi-Fi wise. The connection is clean. It couldn't be any cleaner. But for some reason, YouTube is kind of holding us back to do live shows. So apologies for that. I prefer to do the preview live, but I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna power through this one, a pre-recorded one. I'm not gonna take as long as I do on a live because there's no interaction. Also, I'm not feeling that well. But we will go over the usual stuff. What Allegri had to say, going into the Lazio game, whatever, and also the lineup, and just discuss that a bit. Before we do that, like and subscribe because I cannot say that during the live. So Allegri spoke pre-game as expected. I'm gonna say like 60% of the presser was about Bonucci, Pogba, and stuff that they don't really matter to the game of tomorrow, basically to tomorrow's game. So that was predictable. Um, that's how it works, you know. I think like if I were him, I would have avoided um, a few conversations. Basically, I would have avoided a few questions, but he responded to them. So it's up to him. I wouldn't did that, but he did. So let's get the main two out of the way, and that's Bonucci and Pogba. Let's start with Bonucci because Bonucci he spoke the entire week basically, and obviously Allegri was going to be asked about it, and he responded, in in this way, the most Allegri way possible. He said, Bonucci, he said, I've already said everything I had to say multiple times. I don't feel I need. I don't feel the need to add anything else. I wish him the best of luck in the continuation of his career. The operas are on Canale 5. I'm not a fan. I wish Leonardo the best of luck in his career. He has joined the team to play in the Champions League, which will be significant for his motivation as well. Nothing more to add. Leonardo did not create an internal conflict. The decision was made as mentioned, and it's a normal part of life. He was also asked, are you a liar? Because Bonucci told you were a liar. And he made a joke that his friends call him Pinocchio. Again, if I were if I were him, I wouldn't have responded. I would have said, I don't have time for this. You know, like I'm 55, that guy is 36. Like I don't have time for him. You know, he's not part of the squad. He's not part of the team. It's done. Let's focus on the Lazio game. And next question. He went into it again. That's up to him to do so. The club might have lied. He might have lied. But there's no proof they lied. The proof that Bonucci lied is actually out there because he lied in the same interview, like in the same sentence. He lied literally. Like it's incredible, but he did that. So that's what you need to know about him. But it's done. Forget about that guy. He's not part of the team. Now let's move on to Pogba because he had something to say about Pogba that like he was talking about Pogba and I was like, yeah, this is very, standard. You know what you would expect him to say about Pogba, blah blah blah, all those things. So I was like very eager to just skip that part in terms of like get it over with. Next question, and then at the end he said something that I was like, hold on, very strange. But I will read it out. He said, we are saddened by the situation and we are eagerly awaiting all developments and clarification regarding this matter. We hope that the light will be shed on what happened as soon as possible. I cannot comment on other issues related to the situation because they concern Paul directly and are strictly personal. At this moment, it's difficult to say what changes. Pogba has undergone a suspension and we are waiting for the conclusion of the proceedings. Then are the verdicts. I cannot comment on that issue. And then he said something. I was like, hold on. He said, at the moment, we know Pogba won't be available against Lazio, and I believe the same goes for the Sassuolo match. After that, we will see. We are focused on what we have. We have many options. When he said, and probably also for the Sassuolo game, and then let's see what will happen, I was like, whoa. Very strange that the way he said that, and maybe it was just a decision he made in terms of like the words he kind of used, and it could mean absolutely nothing whatsoever. That could be the case, but the fact that he was like saying, "Oh, he's out now," and probably also for Sassuolo, made me think that, hold on, you know, is there something we don't know? Because by the looks of it, he's just not going to be there for the entire season. Like for us, like done. And what happens after? Also, because if you found positive, I don't think he's going to be suspended 4 years or 2 years, but you're done for the season 100%. You know, it is. But the fact that he said, "Oh, probably also for Sassuolo," I'm like, what are we missing here? So Pogba asked for another test, and then today the news came out that's been moved to the 5th of October, which is a very long time because somebody who is from importance for everything in Pogba's camp is unavailable whatsoever. So it's very strange what is happening because you needed certain days. So at this moment in time, I'm not gonna lie because again, we're football fans. I'm very confused about the situation because first they said it needs to be within 3 days, within 7 days, and now it's moved to the 5th of October. That makes me think like, what is actually happening over here? Like it's a very extremely worrying, confusing situation that doesn't get the right coverage in terms of like we don't get the right information from the media because it's all over the place and it goes from days to now postponed to 2 to 3 weeks, which wasn't possible a couple of days ago. And I think it's just like Del Piero. It's just like Allegri saying, just let's see what happens. But when he said he's probably gonna be out for Sassuolo and then we will see, I'm like, yeah, no, like no. Again, it could be just a decision he made in terms of which wording am I gonna use over here. I'm reading too much into it, but the fact that he got uh, Pogba postponed that test until the 5th of October apparently is very confusing. It's very extremely confusing. But then again, he wasn't fit. We just need to move on at this point, and we will get more information soon. But as of tomorrow, it doesn't hold any relevance to the game. Let's move on. He talked about who is still. I'm not going to go into individual players, what he had to say on them, because I will do that during the lineup because it will make clear how we're going to play, basically. He said the players who remain here have trained well. The others returned highly motivated from their international commitments, although some may need to adjust to the time difference. Tomorrow will be a great match, and it will be important for us to be ready. It's challenging to select the lineup. There are players who deserve to play, but some will have to sit out. On one hand, there's disappointment, but the other hand, it's a positive situation. I don't think it's challenging to pick a lineup, in my opinion, because we have potentially very good starting 11, and then we have one or two good players on the bench. And when you look at the others on the bench, you're like, yeah, you're just not good enough to play, actually. And one game a week, excuse me, I think it's very easy to pick your starting lineup. It is, it's extremely easy to pick your starting lineup. Maybe not tomorrow because of the international break, players coming back late, all that jazz. But like normal schedule week, one game a week, it's extremely easy to pick a team. And I don't like this comment because he's setting this up to make 3 to 4 changes every single week, which happened last week, which cannot happen this year. You need to build a starting 11 and play with that starting 11. If you make changes in game, I get that. If other 2 games you make a sub here and there, I get that. But you need to have a starting lineup. And it needs to happen this season because we play once a week. If you're not going to do it this year, then when on earth are you going to go with a starting 11 and you build with that starting 11? So I don't like that comment because I think it's extremely easy to pick your starting 11. Just pick the 11 you like and stick with that, basically. Don't mix it up every single week, 3 to 4 changes, because that's what he does. And that's just not going to help us. It isn't, especially not when you play once a week. And every single week there are new players on the pitch. Like, it's just not like play the same players and build with that. So I don't like that comment, because I think it's extremely easy. Look at the quality. It is easy to pick your starting 11. But let's move on. He said tomorrow's game is crucial for us. It's a direct clash, so we need to face it in the best possible way. For us, Lazio is a direct competitor to achieve the top 4 finish, which is our goal. To return playing in the Champions League, we need to score a top 4 spot with a certain number of points. Lazio is a direct rival to the top 4. They didn't start well to the season, but they beat Napoli away and they played very well, especially in that second half away to Napoli. They were extremely good. and they deserve to win that game and should have won that game with more than one goal difference. So that's a fact. That's a reality, and they are a direct competitor. They are. So I agree with that. The top four finish, we know that's the goal. I just don't like it gets repeated every single week. Like, you just don't want to hear that as a fan. It's top four. It's top four. We know you need to get top four bare minimum. Like, that's just the bare minimum. Yes, it's a goal. Like, yeah, it's a bare minimum goal. But like, if you repeat that every week, I'm like, is that the mindset? You go into the season that you're actually going into the with a mindset into the season that goes like, we can drop points here and there because we're actually not competing. That's not the goal. The goal is just get into the top four, and you can get into top four. Look at last season by losing 10 games in Serie A. Like, that can happen. But is that what the fans want to hear? No. Is that what I personally want to hear you tell to the players? No, I don't. But it is what it is, I guess. They are a direct competitor, and we need to beat Lazio, who are a good team, by the way. Like, they're not a scrubby team. They have a good lineup. Um, I like Kamada. I think Cataldi played pretty well. Luis Alberto still good. Felipe Anderson had an unbelievable game, by the way. Immobile, it is what it is, but he gets those goals. Zaccagni is playing well this season as well. I like Guendouzi. I've said it on the channel many times. I think he still needs some time, but I do like him. And Pedro is one of those guys that can pop up out of nowhere. Like, they play a good type of football. It's just that we always win against Lazio. Like, I don't know, for some reason we beat Lazio at home, and we always beat them without any issues. They can be in a much better form than us, and we can be in a very bad position as a team. Whatever, we beat them at home quite easily. I don't want to jinx it, but we need to beat Lazio at home. You need to beat these teams, especially at home, to take points away from them in that race for top four. And especially when you already drop points at home against Bologna, you need to beat Lazio tomorrow at home. And that's my expectations. You need to beat them. You absolutely need to beat Lazio at home. And I do believe we're going to beat Lazio. But let's go into what has been the predicted starting 11. Yeah, let's get into it. Chesney, he's fit, which is, I think, good because he's the number one goalkeeper. I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna go further into details. Now comes the surprises, basically. Not this one, because obviously it's Bremer. Alexandro, also not a surprise because he was at home he was training. You might say, oh, no Gatti, and we were all expecting Gatti. Well, Gatti's gonna play because according to the rumors and going off Allegri's presser, Danilo is not 100% fit after he's not injured or whatsoever, but he came back late from the Brazil national team, and he will play. Excuse me, he will not start. He will start from the bench, basically. And Gatti is coming into that team, which already kills off the narrative that you need one of those players to play in a back three because one is left-footed and whatsoever. But Alexander is going to start. That's you can bank that on, basically, going off the rumors. But it's Gatti who comes in the team, but for Danilo and not for Alexander. So that's maybe the big surprise or whatever. Midfield, Locatelli, I think, yeah, like it is what it is. Like, he's there and he's gonna play. And Rabiot, like, those are players you can just bank on every single week because they're gonna start. And then it's again a switch. It's Miretti, Fagioli, Miretti, back to Fagioli. Apparently, and I'm expecting his fitness to be up, and I'm expecting his performances to be much better than what he has shown this season. And it's because lack of fitness and all those things, obviously. But you had 2 weeks to recharge, basically, and gain that fitness level when everybody was away. So I'm expecting a much better game than him. I would have started Miretti, but it's Fagioli, and I'm not going to make a big fuss about it at this moment in time. Um, okay, so now comes the surprise or like whatever because Allegri said, "Oh, Cambiaso can play on the right." Training sessions, he was playing on the right. Every single day from the last 2 weeks, he is gonna play on the right because you know what? They go to America, Mechania where and yeah, they're coming back late, so we need to find a solution. I was like, okay, fine, I can buy that. But well, that's not gonna happen because Allegri picked up Mechani big time. And I will so it will be Cambiaso, apparently, and it will be Mechani. So I have two things to say about that. Um, one, okay, one is the Mechani thing. They came on the same flight, Mechani and Wea. And that goes back to my point a couple of weeks ago when I was with Julian, I think, a podcast or live, and I was like, something is iffy with Wea here because, like, the way the club is, like, the way he's getting used and the reporting is that there's something with his fitness level. But then he goes to America and I see him play. And now, like, the rumors are that, like, oh, he came back late, they're not 100%, but you start McKennie, not in his natural position again, but not Weah. So I don't want to make a big story about it. But like I said, I think 2 weeks ago, just before the international break, that week we played. Um, that it was that week when we played. Who did we play? Away Empoli away from home. I was like, something is iffy with the Weah situation. Like I don't know what it is. Like I don't want to make a scandal of it, but like something feels like he's not 100% fit or something is up at this moment in time because why is he needed to be protected fitness wise, but not McKennie? Now the second point of McKennie is Allegri bigged him up in training, saying he came back in the presser. He came back with a recharge energy, a different mindset. He's doing well, all those things, blah blah blah. He can play multiple positions. I don't think he can play multiple positions. I think he's a great runner without the ball, and he can time his running in the box perfectly. But on the ball, technically, he is not good. You know, and I'm being very nice here. And tomorrow, I'm fearing that a little bit. You know, because we need that output on those wing positions, and McKennie on the wing is just if you can get him in positions where you just need to square it and you just need to make those runs behind. I'm like, okay, but if you are demanding something from him in possession on the ball, I don't think he's the guy. Like in any position, not even his natural position, I don't think he's very good on the ball. So it is what it is. But he's gonna play, and the way I think is in my head, it's becoming something I need to debate myself with. But let's see how that goes on. But like, I find it strange how the way I think is going at this moment in time. I do. I absolutely do. Like I'm a bit confused at this moment in time. But that's what it is, I guess. Let's see how that goes tomorrow. Up top, Vlahovic, and I think Allegri made it very clear it's going to be Chiesa, which is good. You know, I was fearing for it, but apparently he's fine and he's going to. If he's 100% fit, you need to play him because you need to win and you cannot mess about. You know, if you have any doubts, fine, bench him, I guess. But if you have no doubts, you play him because you need to win that game from the get go. So that's the lineup. That's the lineup that has been predicted. Now, I don't know. I have some issues, but like especially the McKennie one, I don't get it. I don't get why Wea is not in that lineup. I'm very confused about that. I think Cambiaso deserves to start. I think he does, and he gets a start. That's clear. Uh, Before I go into the predictions, let me do my player ratings prediction. What I think we need to win this game. Like I need against that Lazio side at home. I think this. I think I need these type of performances. Just a solid six at the back. You know, a good midfield because you need to win that midfield battle. You absolutely do need that midfield battle, and you need one of those players. And I'm banking on Fagioli to shine and make the difference. I need Cambiaso to link up perfectly with Chiesa because I think that's going to be the difference. We need the Chiesa to unlock that, and I need that Vlahovic goal, in my opinion, and we can win that game. So I'm not expecting like masterclasses. I'm expecting three outliners with a seven, and all the rest I'm just saying standard not average, but like good performances. That's what I'm asking. I don't need Ronaldo type performances against Atletico at home. I don't need that. Just be solid. Don't make mistakes. Play your game, and we should be the better team, and you should be winning that game. Because if you don't win that game tomorrow, that's already an issue. First up for a clash of the season at home, and you don't win it after you mess up to beat. You don't beat. Excuse me. You fail to beat. Um, Bologna at home, that's an issue because it doesn't get easier. Let me pull it up. You go away to Sassuolo, Lecce at home, then you go away to Atalanta. You have Torino at home, you have Milan away, you have Verona, and then comes Fiorentina. It goes really quickly, and you need to beat these teams at home. Like, you just need to. So my prediction is we are gonna win. I'm gonna go with a clean, like a boring 1-0. I'm gonna say Vlahovic is gonna score. And I think we're going to win. I don't think it's going to be flashy or whatever crazy. I just think it's going to be a standard 1-0 win. How clean. Even if it's average, we need that win, We absolutely need that win. Hopefully with some improvement up front, those link ups. But let's see how that will goes. That will go, excuse me. But let me know your predictions in the comments. Again, apologies from my behalf that we could not do this live. For some reason, YouTube is holding us back because the connection is clean, but it doesn't work for some reason. So apologies for that. I will not be on tomorrow for Max reaction. Most likely that will be from Julian because I'm not at home, so I cannot record in my usual setup. I will be live on Sunday evening to do a recap and I drop the player ratings as well on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. Like the video, subscribe, and I will be back on Sunday. Ciao.